Time for your guided moving meditation. Please remember, this isn't about getting the movements perfect. It's more about letting yourself interpret the cues to move however it feels right to you. If at any point you deviate from the prompts, go for it. If you feel like coming back, then come back. If you don't, then keep rolling with it. Let the movements take you where you need to ease tension and enjoy the moment. Maybe you just had a little bit too much of your caffeine. Maybe you've had a full day of work and you're just feeling a bit anxious. Maybe life and all of this change is overwhelming. Whatever it may be, we often get this sensation of being jittery. And that sensation of being jittery is what we're going to work through right now as we walk. So I hope that you had already begun walking as I was talking. And if you haven't, just begin walking. And what I like you to first check into is what you notice the most in your body right now. Each of us will have our own place. And what I'd like you to recognize in this is, where are you feeling this sensation in your body of being overwhelmed or jittery or whatever other word you'd like to use to describe it. Maybe it is felt most clearly in your stomach or your shoulders, your neck. Maybe it's your jaw. And whatever that may be, I like you to pay attention to it as you keep walking. Not changing your walk just yet, but just pay attention to it. So instead of avoiding that place of maybe it's a little bit of discomfort, I'd like you to fully pay attention to it. In this process of fully paying attention to it, what do you notice happening? Does it become more focal, as in, can you pinpoint it more clearly? Does it get more expansive? So maybe the spot grows to be larger in the region, or maybe it's neither and it just stays the same. Maybe you notice a different part of your body the more you pay attention to this first part of your body. Or maybe the other parts of your body seem to fade away as you pay attention to this part of your body. Once again, maybe it's something else, maybe it's a little bit of both. Just want you to recognize how this type of attention fluctuates in your body. Now, as you're still walking and still paying attention to that first spot, I like you to put your hands on that first spot. If it's on your belly, put your hands on your belly. If it's on your chest, your shoulders, your neck, put your hands there. If it's on your legs, that's of course a bit more challenging, so you don't have to put your hands there, but maybe reach down as if you're putting your hands there. And then with your hands being on that spot of your body, I like you to just give it a little tap. So if you're playing the bongos or I don't really know what else, just a sort of little drum, little pat, one at a time or both at a time, your choice. Just a steady little pace, nothing too firm, nothing too hard, just enough of a pat like you're burping a baby. And if you feel like this is strange and people might be giving you strange looks, that's totally okay. People might be giving you strange looks, but that is all right. It might actually encourage them to try something similar. Now that you've been spending a bit of time on that spot, move your hands a little bit wider, maybe a little bit up, a little bit down, but just a little bit outside of that spot. So you're still walking, you're still patting. And what this does is just promote blood flow to the region. And that's really important when we're holding a lot of tension, when you're feeling a bit jittery. Blood flow helps to release that. And the more that we can promote an even blood flow, the less we'll feel the effects or the physical effects of being overwhelmed or too caffeinated, whatever it may be. Now change the spot again. So if you had just moved outside or up or down a little bit, just take another step further, a little bit beyond where you were. So now you might be getting close to another region of your body. And then wherever you ended up with your hands now pat them back to the point that you started at. And then pat them back to the point that you ended at. And back in and back out. So you're just moving between the two ranges of the center point that you started with and the end point. However you want to, you can be doing this. So whatever came to mind, whatever your instinctual movement or patting rhythm is, just keep with it. And I hope that as you're doing this, you're still walking. You might have slowed down, you might have sped up. Does not matter. It is whatever you ended up doing is exactly what your body's seeking at this time. And just keep it the padding for another few steps. And then just let your hands down so that you stop padding and you're just strolling again. Check into how you feel. So sort of starting with that same stepping in or recognition process that we started with, where I'd like you to notice where you feel the most amount of sensation. And in this process of feeling for that, has it changed? Maybe you feel the same amount of sensation in the same place. Maybe the sensation has changed. Or maybe you feel more sensation in a different region now. Whatever it may be, there's many more options than those two that I just gave. I'd just like you to recognize it. And then we're going to just change it up a bit so that as you're walking, you shake out your jaw left and right. And then you flick your wrists like you're trying to, dry your hands, like flicking water off. And so that you shake your jaw and you flick your wrists at the same time. Whatever type of breath pattern comes in, just roll with it. And now add in a stepping pattern. So maybe you bend your knees a little bit more. Maybe you keep your knees a little bit more straight. Maybe you stomp. Maybe you soften. Maybe you make your steps smaller. Maybe you make your steps bigger. But find a stepping pattern that matches your jaw shaking and your hands flicking. And fall into this rhythm. So let that rhythm just sort of take you into your walk. It might mean that that rhythm takes you into a different pace. It might mean that rhythm takes you into a different point of focus. It might mean that that rhythm changes what's happening with your hands and your jaw movement. Totally fine. Once again, that's the point. I'd like you to just let your body do as it pleases. If the cues support you on that way, keep with the cues. If the cues are distracting you, keep going then with whatever is pulling you. And wherever you're at, slow it down a bit. Slow it down a bit by emphasizing your heel pushing into the ground. So that with each step, your heel makes a clear point of contact. You can still have your jaw and your hand shaking, but your point of emphasis is your heel pressing into the ground as you step. And then relax it all. So go back to a walk, whatever type of walk you want. Check in. See what feels different. See what doesn't feel different. Now you have a couple options here. This recording is going to end, but you can either repeat it if you feel like you need more. Maybe it's a different part of your body that still stands out. Or just let it go from here and enjoy your stroll. And hopefully this shook out whatever little or lots of bits of jitteriness you had. Once again, just repeat it. Or repeat just parts of it. Whatever you like. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope it helped.